Okay, let's unpack this. Have you ever watched two wildly different personalities try to navigate a relationship, and you just knew it was going to be a roller coaster? Well, today we're diving into one of the most high-profile, head-spinning relationships in modern public life. We're talking about the complex, often chaotic, and yeah, utterly captivating dynamic between Elon Musk and Donald Trump. Their journey from mutual wariness to a pretty robust partnership, and then a dramatic public feud all the way to where things stand today. It's been quite a ride.
It really has. And what's fascinating here, I think, is how their motivations seem to shift, the sheer scale of the stakes involved, and just the unexpected twists and turns. You really couldn't predict it. We're drawing on public statements, lots of media coverage, and even their own social media activity to try and give you the clearest picture possible.
Right. Our mission today is really to cut through all the noise, pull out the most important nuggets of insight, and understand not just what happened, but maybe why it mattered and what it might mean looking forward. You get the shortcut to being well informed on this one, maybe with some truly surprising facts along the way. So let's rewind a bit. The early days. Before the 2016 election, Musk was pretty vocal, right? Publicly saying he felt Trump was not the right guy and didn't reflect well on the United States. He was even backing Hillary Clinton back then.
Oh, absolutely. And that initial ideological clash, it became really clear, didn't it? Especially when Musk joined Trump's economic advisory councils after the inauguration. But then he promptly resigned. That was June 2017, right after the U.S. pulled out of the Paris Climate Agreement. He actually tweeted, climate change is real. Leaving Paris is not good for America or the world. Pretty clear stance.
Very clear. But here's where it gets, well, really interesting. Fast forward to January 2020, and Trump's actually calling Musk one of our great geniuses. Talk about a turnaround. What happened there?
Well, that praise, as you said, it didn't last long. By July 2022, things were pretty frosty again. Trump was calling Musk a B artist over Tesla's valuation. And Musk fired right back, suggesting Trump, who was 76 then, was too old to be chief executive of anything. So, yeah, gloves off.
Definitely off. Yet, just a few months later, November 2022, Musk buys Twitter, now X, and reinstates Trump's account.
Yeah.
That seemed like maybe a potential truce, even though Musk was still, apparently leaning elsewhere politically. He even hosted that slightly glitchy Twitter Spaces event for Ron DeSantis' campaign launch.
Exactly. This whole early phase, it just shows how fluid things were. They were constantly testing the waters, it seems. It wasn't some static relationship right from day one, which I think makes the next phase all the more striking.
Okay, so let's get into that pivot. How did we actually go from too old and B artist to a full-blown alliance? Because the turning point, it's quite dramatic, that assassination attempt on Trump in Pennsylvania, July 13th, 2024.
Yeah, that event was pivotal. And Musk's response was immediate. Reportedly, he was actually there or nearby. He endorsed Trump on X that very same day. He said, I fully endorse President Trump and hope for his rapid recovery. He's the only candidate to preserve democracy in America. And it wasn't just words. He followed up with that huge donation, $277 million to Trump's campaign through a super PSE. That kind of money. It was definitely a decisive factor in Trump winning in November.
A huge factor. And then they started appearing together more publicly.
Yeah.
August 2024, Musk interviews Trump on X, pitches his idea for a Department of Government Efficiency, which got that nickname DOGE. That conversation, even with the technical hiccups, it really showcased their growing alignment, a very public display.
It really did. And looking at the bigger picture, Musk basically became a full campaign asset. He was out campaigning alongside Trump in October 2024, showing up at rallies. He even launched those $1 million giveaways in swing states to try and boost turnout.
And get this detail from election night. November 5th, 2024. Musk is actually at Mar-a-Lago with Trump, celebrating with an AI-generated image of himself dressed as a gladiator. What do you even say to that?
I mean, it's quite the visual, isn't it? Strength, triumph, a shared victory, all rolled into one AI image, and that alliance carried right into Trump's second term. Musk was at the inauguration in January 2025. By February, he's in the Oval Office, with Trump and his son, XAA12 no less, defending DOGE's mission, which was, pretty ambitious, cut federal spending by 75%, eliminate agencies like the CFPB.
Wow. And the benefits from Musk started rolling in pretty clearly, too. March 2025, Trump turns the White House lawn into, like, a Tesla showroom, announces that $7,500 tax credit just for Tesla buyers. Seems like a pretty direct quid pro quo, doesn't it?
It certainly looked that way. A direct boon for Musk's business interests, no question. But Even as this alliance looked solid, the seeds of discord were already being sown. You could sort of see it coming. In April 2025, Musk proposes that huge $2 trillion budget cut through DOGE,
Right.
included privatizing parts of NASA. It gained some traction, sure, but it also created a lot of tension because it was just so radical.
Okay, so this partnership, it clearly wasn't just about them suddenly becoming best friends, was it? It really feels like a calculated exchange. Why did these two, giants decide to team up after all that initial friction?
That's the key question, isn't it? What were the core motivations? For Musk, well, the financial side was obviously substantial. SpaceX landed $15 billion in NASA and Pentagon contracts, lunar missions included during Trump's second term. And Tesla got that $7,500 EV tax credit, avoided tariffs. That's real money.
And beyond just the money, there was the regulatory influence, right? As the co-leader of DOGE, Musk was pushing hard for deregulation.
Yeah.
Energy, space, things that directly help Tesla's battery production, SpaceX's launches, and his idea to privatize parts of NASA. That lines up perfectly with his whole Mars colony vision. Very strategic.
Definitely strategic. Plus, there seemed to be some kind of personal rapport developing. Musk reportedly admired Trump's, let's say, boldness, saw him as a disruptor like himself. Some people even speculated about a sort of father-son dynamic, especially with Musk bringing his son to White House events. Hard to say for sure, but the optics were there.
Interesting. And on Trump's side, that $277 million donation was obviously huge, dwarfed other contributions, funded essential ads, get out the vote efforts.
Yeah.
But it wasn't just the cash that was valuable, was it?
Oh, absolutely not. Musk owning X, that gave Trump a direct pipeline to millions of people, totally bypassing traditional media. That X interview back in August 2024 alone apparently got 100 million views. It's massive reach. And, just associating with a tech icon like Musk helped modernize Trump's image a bit, appealed to maybe younger, tech-savvier voters. That Tesla showroom event really symbolized that synergy perfectly.
Okay, but here's where the roller coaster takes another sharp dip. Things get really interesting, maybe a little explosive. After building this whole alliance, it just disintegrated super rapidly. June 2025. What on earth happened?
Well, the spark, the main catalyst, seems to have been Trump's one big, beautiful bill, the OBBB, a $3 trillion package. Musk, Mr. Efficiency, privately warned Trump it would balloon the deficit, apparently. But then, June 5th, 2025, he goes public, calls OBB a disgusting abomination on X, and threatens to form his own party, the America Party, if it passed. That's a big threat.
Wow. And Trump fired back hard, right? Threatened to use DOGE, the very department Musk was co-leading, to cut subsidies for Tesla and SpaceX. Then the next day, June 6th, Musk escalates again, accuses Trump of covering up the Epstein files, suggests impeachment, says time to drain the real swamp.
Right.
Trump shot back, called the party idea ridiculous, a loser's tantrum. I mean, this was a full-blown public meltdown.
It really was, and it kept going. June 7th, Musk is sparring with Steve Bannon on X. The financial fallout was immediate, too. Tesla stock dropped 14%. That wiped out something like $34 billion from Musk's net worth, just like that. By June 10th, there were reports Trump was seriously considering firing Musk from DOGE.
So what really drove them apart? Was it just that one spending bill?
Mm-hmm.
Or something deeper?
I think it was a collision. A collision of policy, absolutely. Musk's whole efficiency thing versus OBB spending. He also felt betrayed, maybe by potential cuts to EV subsidies. He tweeted something like, "Killing the EV mandate kills Tesla's edge." So, self-interest too. And then there are the egos, let's be honest. Both men are pretty unyielding, demand loyalty. Musk throwing out the Epstein accusation. That felt like a deliberate poke, hitting Trump where it might hurt.
And the financial interests that brought them together were suddenly tearing them apart.
Exactly. Musk needs those government contracts for SpaceX. So Trump's threats, they were kind of existential for him. Conversely, Trump probably saw Musk's growing influence in his administration as a challenge to his own authority. And this whole thing playing out on X, Musk's own platform, it just amplified every single jab to this massive global audience. Musk has 200 million followers, Trump 90 million. It was instant drama. There was that Pew poll in July 2025 finding 60% of Americans thought the feud was, quote, entertaining but damaging to governance. That says a lot.
Entertaining, but damaging. Ouch. So what are the broader implications here? This feud clearly had ripple effects way beyond just their personal spat.
Oh, definitely. Connecting this to the bigger picture, the business impact on Tesla was immediate, that 14% drop. While the SpaceX contract seems safe for now, those threats certainly cast a shadow over future government work. Politically, Musk's America Party threat, even if it was just talk, could potentially split the Republican vote down the line. And DOGE, his big efficiency project, its momentum completely stalled. Congress started pushing back hard against those radical cuts.
And the public perception, all the memes, the conspiracy theories,
Well,
it really just took over the news cycle, didn't it?
completely. It really highlighted how these huge public platforms can turn personal arguments into major political and financial events almost instantly. As of now, mid-July 2025, their relationship seems tense. At a crossroads. Musk did soften his tone a bit on June 11th, admitted some posts went too far, and Trump in turn kind of signaled he might be open to reconciling. Said something like, Elon's a genius, but he disappointed me. We'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. Classic. And there are those reports, right, that Musk quietly met with Trump's team around July 15th, trying to talk about DOG's future. But no big public makeup session yet. So it feels like maybe a pragmatic truce behind the scenes.
That's likely what it is. A pragmatic effort, probably behind closed doors, to salvage some influence, maybe mend ties just enough. But public trust in that partnership? That's definitely taken a hit. Tesla stock has recovered a bit, but it's still down about 10% from before the feud started. And Trump's approval rating actually dipped 3 points during all that chaos. It really shows that even when personalities clash spectacularly, the practical needs of power and influence often pull people back to the negotiating table, even if they don't really want to be there.
So what a story. It started with wary opposition, morphed into this incredibly powerful strategic alliance, and then just imploded in this super public, really dramatic feud. It's a narrative packed with ambition, alliance, and yeah, a lot of acrimony, shaped by policy, absolutely, but also by these huge personalities and constant power struggles.
It's a fascinating chronicle, isn't it? A relationship really tested by discord and now just poised for a completely uncertain future. It's compelling. Sometimes it feels almost like watching a reality show, but it's ultimately serious. It shows how fast dynamics can shift when these kinds of titans collide. The stakes are just incredibly high.
Yeah, our sources really paint it as kind of a cautionary tale, maybe, about how personal egos and these massive public platforms can fracture even the most powerful alliances that seemed mutually beneficial. So for you, our listener, here's a final thought to kind of mull over. Given everything we've unpacked today, do you think this relationship can actually mend? Can it go back to being that strong alliance? Or is this just, another temporary truce in a long-running, completely unpredictable saga where the next plot twist is probably just a tweet away? Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We really hope you feel much more well-informed on this truly fascinating topic.